It's wait a minute. What the hell day is it today?
Friday.
Friday.
Oh my God, the holidays and the AEW's schedule had me totally messed up. Well, it's Friday. You know what that means? We're one day away from World's End from Chicago, Illinois. Guys, we're going to do a preview and prediction show, but I got to ask you right off the bat. What do you think of the card and just overall, what do you think of the card and how do you feel about the build up? Because I have some thoughts, but I want to hear what you guys think.
I think it's been decent build up. I don't think it's been super great like they have in the past, but it's been a decent build up.
It's too soon. They didn't have hardly any build up to most of this. I mean, to me, they did this a few pay-per-views ago. I mean, it'll be a good show, but I think they could have done a lot more.
Yeah, I would agree. It's been okay, but not great. I mean, the focus of, I mean, pretty much the last month has been the Continental Classic. So World's End build always kind of suffers because of that, but it always ends up being a good show. So I'm like, you know what? I'm fine with it. I know the show's going to be good at least. I can deal with a lackluster build when you have the tournament going on. I understand why it happened.
Yeah, what my thoughts was I don't like that. Look, World's End is built around the Continental Classic. That's the theme of the show. You had the participants, the semifinalists of the Continental Classic, revealed last night on Collision on Christmas night. So, not as many people were likely not watching it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I really wish they would have started the Continental Classic maybe a week, even 2 weeks earlier, so that the semifinalist would have been revealed 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and that would give you an opportunity to have promos, vignettes about the actual semifinal matches. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you guys?
100%.
Yeah, it makes sense. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I just don't think it was smart to have the reveal for the theme the night before, Thursday night. MK mute. All right. Well, anyway, let's get on with the actual preview and prediction show. And since we're talking about the Continental Classic, we might as well, of course, start by talking about the Men's World Championship and lead the Continental Classic for next. We've got Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and MJF. Who wins this and why? And let me ask you a secondary question. Do you see anything extracurricular happening?
I think MJF's going to win it. I think that I don't see him coming back and getting his title shot and wasting it on a loss. And there's so many different things that could happen in this match. It's hard to specifically say, yeah, I think this is what's going to happen.
Anybody else with thoughts on this? Come on, guys. Let's
keep
the flow going.
I'm a little different. I really feel like it adds to MJF's character if he loses. So I'm going to say I really think Samoa Joe needs to find a way to win. I don't want to see him end this quickly and be that much of a transitional champion.
Okay, so we have MJF and Samoa Joe. Chris, what's up?
I agree with MJF. You don't have him come back, sign the contract, have that, promo, and then just end up losing. Like, it just makes him look like a complete and total goof. Like, it would just be, it would completely undercut his character to do that. So yeah, I'm going with MJF. It's one of those I could see him having some people like waiting in the wings to help him, but also, fatal four way. There's no disqualifications in that. How can you disqualify one person and say, okay, this person wins now because of that? So MJF can do whatever the hell he wants. So that's an important thing to remember about this match. And yeah, I think he definitely uses that to his advantage to win.
Yeah, the thing with MJF is the promo that he did 2 weeks ago in the ring. Um, here's my thoughts on this. MJF is known for being underhanded. He's a scumbag. He's almost like an 80s chicken shit heel, where he does everything he can to avoid the fight. Better than rather than going in and fighting. That he came out with the contract, signed it to make a four-way match, tells me that he's got something up his sleeve. He can't be going into this match with this character. It's a total change of his character. You know what I'm saying? He's got to have something up his sleeve. It doesn't make sense for his character to do this complete flip-flop.
Oh, damn.
What?
Sorry. I hit the button where I was ready. Oh, sorry. I was talking to my cat. Yeah, but of the four guys that are in this, MJF has been preparing for this all year long. He's not just in this for tomorrow night. He's been making promos, doing everything he does for the whole year about this match. So yeah, I kind of got to agree. I'm thinking, who was it that mentioned Wardlow? Was it Swerve? Said
Yeah.
something about him? I think that we're going to see Wardlow possibly come out and help MJF.
Well,
I can see that happening.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, I mentioned Adam Cole. Adam Cole doesn't have to be, while Adam Cole has been out, the story could be that MJF set his differences aside and, reached out to Adam Cole and made amends, to say, so to speak. And I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that Adam Cole could come out during this match and just use a chair. Wear the devil mask. Take off the devil mask. It's Adam Cole. Bebe, Better Than You, Bebe is back. And Adam Cole isn't really a wrestler anymore. We don't know this, but, I think the general consensus is that Adam Cole is probably not going to wrestle full time, if at all, anymore. But that doesn't mean that he can't get involved. He could be the same kind of character as MVP or Prince Nana. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Adam Cole gets involved. Keep in mind, the World's End is one of the pay-per-views that really does have debuts and returns on it, generally speaking. Okay, nobody has anything else to say?
Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see that. I really can. I'd rather have Adam Cole come out than Wardlow. Wardlow's played out to me. I'm sorry. I think his time's kind of passed for me. But if that's going to happen, that'd be a lot better. I think Adam Cole needs to get back in the ring. I think everybody misses him, and him turning heel would be just icing on the cake.
Okay, well, let's move on, because we've got two Continental Classic semifinal matches. Of course, the winners of each of these matches will go on later in the show to face each other for the Continental title, I guess. This whole thing is just, I'm sorry, I am like an idiot, because I don't get the unified Continental and International thing at all. What's the point of having a unified belt if I just don't get it.
As best I can tell, if you have both the Continental and the International, you're the unified champion. However, it seems they can be split, and someone could hold the International and someone else hold the Continental, and they can be two different belts. And then if there comes a time where
It's
those
this is
two
too much.
They're-
It's
face
too
off
much.
again.
They're-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I-
that's way too convoluted.
It's
They're all
pro
threes.
wrestling. It's not freaking calculus. For God's sake.
I
It's not that
agree
hard.
with y'all
Listen,
100%.
it's not
I'm
that
just
hard.
laying it out. I'm not saying I agree with it at all. I think it's a stupid
I
idea
mean,
too.
I
They
look
are-
at
Either
the
there's
AEW.
one title. You can't have one title be three titles.
They're not.
Be two
They're not.
titles.
They're not.
Like,
They're three separate titles. They did exactly the same thing that they did with the 6-man titles when they combined the ROH and the AEW 6-man titles and never separate, and they didn't get rid of one and kept them together and then separated them again. After tomorrow night, whoever wins the unified title is the unified champion. It has
The
nothing to do
unified
with
title. No. The unified title is not even up for grabs
or the
tomorrow night. What are
Continental.
you
I'm
talking
sorry.
about?
You're right. He'll be the Continental champion. The Continental champion will be who wins the match tomorrow night. Okada is still the unified champion and the other champion.
But that doesn't make any sense. Let's say
agree.
Takeshita wins the title tomorrow night, the Continental title tomorrow night. The unified title ceases to exist.
Nope, he'll have all three again.
no, the international title is not on the line. That's what I'm saying. The unified title is almost like it only exists when one person wins both the international and continental.
No, that's not how it
but I
works.
understand that. But why? But Chris, if you do that, why on the AEW roster page does it have 3 separate pictures of Okada holding 3 different belts? It
he holds
doesn't
all 3
make
titles.
sense.
Because right now, since he won the international title from Kenny Omega and already held the continental title, he is the unified champion. If
He
he
would
wins the
still.
Continental Classic and remains Continental Champion, he will remain Unified Champion.
That's not how it works.
However,
That's not how it works. He's still going to hold 2 titles after tomorrow night. If he doesn't win, they never separate. They never made them one title. That's why they carry all 3 belts.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You're saying I'm wrong when we're saying the exact same thing.
You're saying that.
Okay, but
That is way too convoluted.
Let me just put an end to it right now. I'm going to tell you the solution to this whole thing. The horse's name was Friday. Let's talk about the matches. Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita in the semifinal match. This is the match that, frankly, everybody wanted. It's the match that everybody expected. Who wins this match?
Kesta.
Geshka.
Okada.
And then let's go to... We'll get to everybody's opinions. I just want to know who's going to win. So let's move on. Who's going to win? Fletcher and Mox.
I got Fletcher.
Moxley.
Fletcher.
Moxley. So both of them, this whole thing, we are split right down the line. So we really can't say, since we're just going to go ahead and just go cut right to the chase. Who walks out of World's End as the Continental Champion, or whatever the hell championship they're going to call it?
I think Takeshita wins it and walks away from the Don Callis family.
Okay.
Shida is going to win, yeah.
What?
Takeshita is going to...
I thought you said Hikaru. I thought you said Hikaru Shida.
That's the only part we heard was the Shida part.
It was like, what the hell are you talking about? So we've got, who did you say, son?
Takeshita, and he walks away from the Don Callis family.
Okay, and MK said Hikaru Shida, but he meant Takeshita. What about you, Chris?
And you will say his full name, the new Continental Champion, the Protostar, Kyle Herbert Elizondo Mountain Dew Camacho Fletcher.
Man, that is, I cannot disagree with all 3 of you more. Kazuchika Okada is going to retain, and it's it.
Why do you feel that way?
I just don't think that it's something. It's like Tony Khan. Every show they said, they say Okada is the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. This is a tournament wrestler in Okada, and it's a tournament. And Tony Khan is just. I just don't feel like Tony Khan's gonna take the tournament title away from the Sutton. Please mute. I don't think that Tony Khan's going to take the title away from the greatest, tournament wrestler of all time.
I see it differently. I think you have to pass the torch eventually.
Oh, you definitely do. I see that happening, when Okada's 55 years old.
I don't see it. You're setting up for the future. Takeshita is the future. I think he beats Okada, and then he goes on to beat Moxley, who is a former IGWP champion. So he's had the tournament. You don't have someone like
he's a what?
He was a IGWP champion, wasn't he? IWGP champion.
I'm sorry. He beat Moxley during the tournament.
I'm sorry, because I said the same thing like 3 weeks ago, and somebody called me out on it, so I got to call you out on it.
The problem is this, again, as I said before, Takeshita is the IWGP title holder. He wrestles again in 2 weeks for that title. He's not losing to Okada, and he's not going to lose to the other guy. He's not losing a match for that when he has that title.
Even if he loses to Okada, he's not losing the title. It's as simple as that. I don't believe that Okada, in all seriousness, I don't believe Okada is going to lose the Continental Championship because in, 10 days or so, Okada's facing Tanahashi in Tanahashi's retirement match. He's going into that match as the Continental Unified International, whatever the hell other belts that you want to call it. He's going to have 3 pictures on the roster page, and that's it. That's just the way I feel about it.
I think it would be a mistake for Okada to win again. I really do. Because the other guy has 13 points, the most points ever scored. You're setting him up to keep on elevating. I don't see why you crush it with Okada beating him.
No, I can see your point. It's just, I don't know. It's, I kind of like to see Fletcher win it. But I just don't think that it's his time. I definitely don't want Moxley to win it. So, but I kind of think Moxley's going to walk away from that other semifinal, and it's going to be Moxley versus Okada in the finals, where I honestly I think that's who it's going to be, but I want it to be Takeshita against Fletcher. I think it would be the better match. But I don't know. Something tells me I'm not going to get what I want. Well, let's move on, because we've got 2 women's matches on this main card. We've got the AEW Women's World Championship match, Chris Statlander against Jamie Hayter, and the I believe this is the first defense. I don't think the match last night on Collision was a title defense. I think this is actually the first defense of the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. We've got Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, the Babes of Wrath, against Mercedes Moné and Athena. Let's start with the AEW Women's World Championship match. Who do you guys have? Chris Statlander or Jamie Hayter?
Statlander.
Yeah, I got Statlander too. I just although here's what I'm thinking. I want this match to be very brutal, and I want it to not be a one and done kind of thing. I want to have like a holy trinity of matches.
Can you see Hayter turning heel?
I do. I also see Chris Statlander turning heel. Look, here's the thing. This match has a lot to do with several things that I'm going to point out, is that World's End is actually the last AEW pay-per-view until Revolution in March. So there is all of January, all of February, where, let's say Chris Statlander retains, there is nothing going on between now and March, except for Grand Slam Sydney in, what is it, February?
Didn't they say they were making a new pay-per-view in February around Valentine's Day?
Yeah, there's something, isn't there? There's some
there's something new coming on in February.
Madness or something.
No. I don't know where you got that, but I actually looked it up. There is nothing saying that there's a new pay-per-view coming out in February. And I've been watching a lot of videos, predictions from people like Fightful Select, What Culture, etc. And they all made the point, hey, guess what? This is the last pay-per-view before Revolution in March. So, but however, they do have Grand Slam, Sydney, which is going to probably be a big deal. So I could kind of see maybe Hayter winning this at World's End and then maybe losing it, or probably better is Chris Statlander wins it retains at World's End. Jamie Hayter wins it in the second match of the Holy Trinity of matches, wins it in Sydney, and then at Revolution, Chris Statlander gets it back or something to that effect. But I do hope, as far as this goes, that it's a Holy Trinity of matches and it's not just a one and done, because when you look at the AEW roster and you look at the women's division, people always say one thing about the women's division is that it's stacked. And yes, it may be stacked. However, it's also very thin, and there's not that many active wrestlers. If you look at the roster, go look at the AEW roster page, specifically look at the women's division and see how many women that are listed. I think there's something like 35-ish women listed, in the women's division. But a lot of those women are inactive, have not wrestled a match in 2025. We're damn near at the end of 2025. Or they're valets, or just non-wrestlers like Mother Wayne, etc. Sutton, please mute. So, that's the thing. Let's move on to the Babes of Wrath versus Mercedes Moné and Athena. Who do you guys have winning this one?
Wrath.
Babes of Wrath. Babes of Wrath. Babes of Wrath.
Athena and Moné.
I think that this whole match is going to be set up just to have Mercedes Moné and Athena finally have their big falling out, and it's going to set up a big program between these two. I don't see the Babes of Wrath and I don't see them losing the belts right now. I will say this, they do need to lose the belts, because I don't think they're good champions. I don't think they're right for the initial champions. I really wish it would have been Sisters of Sin, or I really wish it would have been Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, to be honest with you. I think they needed that type of team to win the championship. I have nothing against Harley Cameron. I have nothing against Willow Nightingale. I just don't think they're it for this championship. I really do want to see them lose it fairly soon.
I kind of agree with you. They don't look smooth when they wrestle together. It doesn't look like, when you watch everybody else that's a tag team that's been a tag team for a while, it just moves. And with them, there's just way too much start and stop.
They don't gel very well.
Yeah, and I love them as a team. They just need more time.
Well, Harley Cameron, I don't know how you feel about it, but like Harley Cameron, to me, had much more of a symmetry. She was more in sync with Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné than she is with Willow Nightingale. With Willow Nightingale, everything they do just seems like their promos. They seem really forced. I don't know. It just seems fake to me. It just doesn't mesh. They just don't mesh. They're not good together. I don't like them together. I really don't.
I disagree.
Okay, you're going to say anything about why? Or are you just going to say I disagree?
Nope, just I disagree.
Okay.
Okay,
I
then
just,
we'll
yeah, they're
go ahead.
clunky to me.
Okay, well then let's move on. I, um, we've also got two multi-man mixed nuts mayhem things going on. We got a Chicago street fight for the AEW World Tag Team Championship with FTR facing the I'm just going to say the Gang Bang Gang because I'm going to say it anyway. So yeah, we're going to these two, and then we have this mixed nuts mayhem match. Let's start with the Chicago Street Fight for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Who do you have winning?
FTR.
FTR.
FT.
FTR. I honestly don't even understand why this match is even on this card.
Yeah, I mean, look, Animal is my favorite Muppet, but there's no way him and Kermit are beating FTR in this.
The only thing that I could see that they could, the way that they would win is if Jay White came back or the missing brother came back. That would be the only way that they could win to get involved in the street fight.
Yeah, I get it. What about you, MK?
No, I see it just plain. I see why they do it because they need a match, but I don't see them winning. FTR is going to stay champions for a while.
Yeah, I just don't understand the build to this because didn't FTR just beat these two? Like,
Well,
Yeah,
it's
but
the rubber match. It's the rubber match.
well, and during the match, Austin had Dax pinned, and Cash grabbed his foot and put it on the rope. So it was one of those. They really did pin them, but it got nullified because the ref saw the foot on the rope, even though he counted three. So that's the kind of excuse to let it be, to let him have a rubber match and to add the stipulation to it.
right, right. Well, let's look at the mixed nuts mayhem match. This match is just wrong. Who do you have winning this?
I don't care, honestly.
Yeah,
The
that's the way I
timeless
feel.
conglomeration.
There you go. Timeless conglomeration. I like it.
I don't want to
Glitz and
play.
glamour.
Look, I don't want it to come off like when I say I don't care. I don't. It's not that there's nothing at stake in this match, so it doesn't make me care about who wins or loses the match. I care about the match because it looks like it's going to be fun. I expect to see mayhem, and I really expect to see some nuts. Wait, that didn't come out right.
No, it came out exactly right.
Right.
I don't kink shame, so
Well, I don't know. I look the match. The winner of this match, honestly, it doesn't matter who wins this match, unless they had some other kind of stipulation that's something to the effect of I don't know, whatever. But
I just want the Death Rider to lose. I want him to lose everything.
yeah, I was kind of surprised to be honest with you because before they made this match, I had mentioned in the live chat, I wonder if they're going to do a match, a multi-man match with all the people from the Continental Classic that did not make the semifinals. But have like a group A against group B match or something to that effect.
Like they did the first year.
Yeah.
I was thinking they would, but then I realized that of the 8 people left, you have 6 faces and 2 heels.
Yeah, but that really doesn't make any difference because it would have just been either all of the A guys that didn't make it versus the B guys, or just throw them in a hat, pick out 4 guys, and go. So that really didn't have like Kelson said earlier. There's no meaning to this match. It could have been anybody against anybody. It's just a match to fill card space.
Yeah, it's just a way to get some Marina Shafir and Claudio and Yuta and I guess Daniel Garcia into the pay-per-view, as well as getting Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe and Tony Storm into the pay-per-view. That's the only reason it's here. It is a definite filler match. And that's unfortunate because Tony Storm should not be in a filler match under any circumstances. But that's what it is.
But sometimes those filler matches end up being a lot of fun because it's like, okay, we have nothing to prove. Let's just go out there and have a kick-ass match.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's just I'm just saying is that it's just odd, especially since look, I'm just going to say it. When you're looking at the 9 matches that are on the main card, 5 of them were made final last night. Well, technically 4 because one of them is also the finals of the Continental Classic, which we won't know until tomorrow night. But you understand what I'm saying? It's just like, it's just a weird match to have, this mixed nuts mayhem match, because 5 of the matches of the 9 were made last night on the Thursday, 2 days, less than 2 days before the actual pay-per-view starts. We had literally we didn't have but 4 of the matches already decided.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes that's okay. Like, I'm gonna say, look, I watch Evil Uno's Mystery Wrestling every month, and you know what? Most of the time, or pretty much every show, maybe one match will be known, maybe one performer will be known, but everything else is just, it happens as it happens, and sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it makes things fun, just being like, okay, we're gonna have this wrestling match just because it's gonna be an awesome wrestling match.
No, I understand what you're saying. Well, I don't understand what you're saying about Evil Uno's Mystery Wrestling, because putting Evil Uno's Mystery Wrestling on the same scale as AEW is mind-boggling to me. But I get what you're
I'm just
saying.
making the comparison that, you
No,
don't
I no,
always
I
need to know everything.
well,
Like,
when you're spending $40 or $50, as the case may be, on something, you kind of want to know what you're buying.
I know I'm buying
Yeah.
great wrestling because that's what AEW has given me every single paper.
No, I agree with you, but again, you're buying it, I'm buying it. Not everybody's you and me or you and I. You know what I'm saying? You have to give people a reason to buy it. And I'm afraid that they didn't, meaning AEW. I'm afraid AEW dropped the ball big time with this. I really
Yeah, I think
do.
you all.
I
I
I'm
think
not
with the
talking for
Continental
like
Classic,
guys
you
like
always
you and
know you're
I.
getting.
To
Yeah,
me,
I
there's
get.
just 2 matches you're really buying this pay-per-view for. Well, 3, but yeah, it's a classic ending, and it's for the main event. The rest of it, I don't think anybody really cares about.
Yeah, but that's the focus of the pay-per-view. And I know the rest of the card will be filled with good wrestling because I know that's what AEW provides. And I think most people who are going to be buying an AEW pay-per-view probably have a similar mindset. Like, okay, I know the Continental Classic finals are happening. That's the selling point of this pay-per-view. I'm going to trust that the rest is going to be cool.
No, I get what you're saying. I just hope that you guys understand what I'm saying, is that they literally did not have, the matches set. Last night at this time, we still didn't know who was in a lot of these matches at World's End, 2 days before the pay-per-view. But anyway, let's move on because we do have a couple more matches, and I included the 0 hour match. We have Gabe Kidd versus Darby Allin. And as far as I know, as of right now, it's a straight up match. I don't know if they've put a stipulation on it. And then, of course, in the 0 hour, we've got Sister Sins against Hyann and Maya World, which is kind of interesting to me, because of, things that's happened over the last several weeks. But anyway, let's talk about Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin. Who do you guys have winning this one?
Darby.
I want to see Gabe win this. He needs a big win to stand out and kind of get away from the Death Rider's grip and be his own person, because to me, the Death Riders kind of ruined him. I know he's able to have good matches because he has a great one with Kenny Omega. So I want to see him shine.
Yeah, but he's not an official AEW member, so I don't think he's beating Darby.
That's a pretty good point.
I mean, he basically came in. You might think that the Death Riders ruined him, but the only storyline reason he's in AEW was as a hired hand for them to help beat people up. So if he was if he was on the AEW roster, I'd say Gabe Kidd, but you can't have Darby losing to him. I just don't see it happening.
I disagree. Darby can lose to anybody. He's I don't know. He's just that
Plus,
guy.
let's not act like Gabe Kidd is just some friggin' bum. I mean, he is a former IWGP Global Champion. You know, he's had great G1s, great New Japan. Like, Darby could lose this match to Gabe Kidd and not lose anything. But I think Gabe Kidd losing, he hasn't had enough success in AEW where if he loses this one, he'll be okay. Like, Gabe Kidd needs to win this match unless he's not coming to AEW anymore.
Yeah, well, with I believe it was What Culture that did a list of the top matches of 2025, and you know what their number one match was? Gabe Kidd versus Kenny Omega at
Yeah, exactly.
Russell Dynasty on January 5th. So I believe it was What Culture. It could have been.
Yeah, it was What Culture.
I thought it was. But anyway, I mean, Gabe Kidd literally has. I'm not saying What Culture is the end all to be all, but you can't deny that having Gabe Kidd at the top of a Gabe Kidd match at the top of a list doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? So that's that. Okay, then we have. I think this is an interesting match. Sisters of Sin versus Hyan and Maya World. Why is this interesting? Because Hyan and Maya World stepped in when Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé kind of walked out, or not kind of, they walked out saying that a 3-minute match wasn't doing anybody any favors. Hyan and Maya World stepped in, did the 3-minute match. They've been booked continuously they've been on ROH, they've been on AEW. Now they're in the 0 hour of a pay-per-view. What do you guys think about this? And obviously, it probably doesn't matter who wins this match, but this could be interesting.
So you're saying they're being rewarded for sticking around and doing the right thing?
Well, look, here's the thing. Like Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp did his thing earlier today, and he actually brought up this match, and he said that he fully expects for Hyan and Maya World to be all elite by tomorrow afternoon if they're not already. And I apologize if I misquoted him or something, like, I'm paraphrasing, but I kind of agree. And it's interesting also is that, AEW has signed Leda Cross. She's not been used. Leda Cross teamed with Hyan in October. We got the Sisters of Sin. Tekla's gonna be around. This could be one of those things where on 0 hour, where we have a feel-good thing, where we have Hyan and Maya World made all elite. Lana Cross comes out because Fightful reported, about a month or two ago, that Lana Cross is signed by All Elite Wrestling. She had to relocate to Orlando. She has done that, according to Fightful. So, look, I mean, you got Sisters of Sin who are, they're workers. This is what they do. This is the kind of match that they're built for. Sky Blue and Julia Hart are the two of the hardest workers in the women's division. So, this is, I don't expect Hyan and Maya World maybe not win this match, but I do think that they will be legitimized in this match, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, and I mean, this pay-per-view spot is absolutely a bit of a reward for stepping up and sticking around. Like, you had two who, I'm not going to say, oh, they thought they were better than or whatever, but for whatever reason, they just decided that wasn't for them. So you had High in Our World, they stepped up, they that was the second work or the second match they worked that night. Like, and hey, that's what a boss wants. He wants someone who's going to be like, we want to work. Like, we'll go out there. We don't mind because we recognize 3 minutes can become five, can become a TV spot, can become a pay-per-view spot.
It could become a job as
Exactly.
well.
Like,
Look, I mean, if you know anything about High-End and Maya World, they are, if you look at Pro Wrestling Illustrated's top women's 250, they're up there. They're, even though they're not signed to any company right now, they are up there. They are recognized as good wrestlers, very capable wrestlers. But the fact of the matter is that they're traveling all over the United States and probably all over the world wrestling on these indie shows. It's got to be a goal. It's got to be a goal. Nixon Newell stated that her goal was to be signed by a company. They don't want to be on the road driving or flying from town to town, making far less money than you're probably ever going to make in a company like AEW, Ring of Honor, WWE, NXT, even TNA. I mean, you want to have a permanent place. And by doing what they did, stepping up and doing the 3-minute match that, as you said, Chris, turns into a 5-minute match, it turns into a 10-minute match, it turns into a 0 hour on a pay-per-view match, could turn into a job. And that's a winning story right there. Even if they lose this match tomorrow, even if they don't get signed to AEW, they've won because they've done something to make themselves seen. It's good advertisement for them.
they raised their profile for sure, no matter what. Like,
Exactly.
win, lose, draw, like, they got themselves more recognized, more noticed, more people saying like, "Oh, hey, I've seen them before. I saw them on AEW." So the next time there's an indie show they're on, it's like, "Yeah, I saw them in AEW. They're cool. Let's go see them."
Right. Well, let's move on to our potpourri section. And I'm going to open up the potpourri because I wanted to bring something up. Is that, of course, World's End is tomorrow night. 0 hours at 7 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And the pay-per-view World's End is at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing a live chat on our Discord channel. The link is actually on your screen at the bottom of the screen right now. If when we post this, we will put our on Spotify and Apple Podcast and Amazon Music and Audible, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your podcast. We will put the Discord link in our description. Please join us for our live chat during the pay-per-view and 0 hour. It's a lot of fun. Also, we have the AEW Fan Hub Awards. That is also on our Discord channel in the AEW Awards channel. There's like 7 or 8 categories to vote on. Each category has 6 selections that were nominated by the AEW Fan Hub podcast team. And it's a lot of fun. It's just something that we do to get, people involved. It's just fun. We will be revealing the winners of the AEW Awards very soon because tomorrow is the last day to vote on. Some of the categories are very close, so please go vote and join our Discord. We've got, I believe right now we're sitting at about 420 members on the Discord. It's a really friendly Discord. It's not an AEW only Discord. It's got sections for WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, AEW, Lucha Libre, Joshi, really anything, New Japan, everything. It's classic wrestling. So there's something for everyone. It's the Everything Pro Wrestling Hub Discord channel. So please, join, have fun. We are at in the AEW Fan Hub. It's a hub. AEW Fan Hub is a hub. We've got different subreddits. We've got different presences on social media like X, Instagram, and Blue Sky, Threads, of course YouTube, which we just started, and of course the Discord and the podcast. We are sitting very close all together at nearly 100,000 members right now. We're last I checked, we were like 99,200 members, and that was yesterday. So we have a shot by the end of the year of reaching 100,000 members in the AEW Fan Hub community, which I would actually like to change that and say the Everything Pro Wrestling community, Everything Pro Wrestling Hub community, because I think that's a better description of the community. Join us. We have a lot of fun. The subreddits, I believe, are the best moderated subreddits on the IWC. And we're just positive. We have our, as you can tell if you listen to this podcast, we have our dissenting opinions. We do have some discourse, but it's constructive. It's all coming from a good place when we criticize. Because we want AEW to be better on this channel. And I do believe that even on the Discord, we don't have there's no tribalism there. We're wrestling fans. And WWE, TNA, Lucha Libre, Joshi, AEW, Ring of Honor, it's all wrestling. So we're fans. Talk about
And
it.
sometimes
Okay, guys.
Nelson brings us cookies.
No, I don't. That's a blatant lie.
Oh, come on. More people will come if they think there will be cookies.
Now I have been known to post late night stripping video, but I delete them before anybody wakes up. So
It's the
That's going to drive people away.
It's the Eddie Kingston worship videos you have to watch out for.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's one thing that I can definitely say about our Discord is that we argue a lot about Eddie Kingston because some people really like Eddie Kingston and some people just don't
Have
get it.
taste.
In other words, some people have really bad taste and some people have really good taste in professional wrestling. But anyway, I digress. Anybody else have a potpourri now that
I don't.
You do not. Anybody else?
I could just do the usual kind of quick New Japan wrap up.
Okay.
Hiroshi Tanahashi had his last match in Korakuen Hall ever. I almost cried. His last match ever is coming up January 4th against Kazuchika Okada. I will cry again. That is all.
I do want to say that, I mentioned earlier about the polls and the live chats and whatnot on our Discord. We do have a poll for every match at Wrestle Kingdom 20. We have a poll for every match at Stardom's Dream Queendom, which is coming up on the 29th of this month. So again, join the Discord, participate in the polls. It's really, I got to say this because it was so funny because the last pay-per-view that AEW had was Full Gear. And we had the polls and where everybody voted on the winners of the matches. We did horrible. It was awful. I think there was 9 matches on that pay-per-view. I think we got 3 right and 6 wrong. It was pathetic. But you think about it, there was a lot of title changes at Full Gear, which is something that AEW normally doesn't do. Although they did rebound, the community did rebound because if you remember, after that we had what was it, the ROH Final Battle? That was the ROH pay-per-view. That was the most recent one, right? Final Battle.
Yes. Yeah.
And the community got every single match of Final Battle right. Every single one, which I was very happy to see because we got decimated on at Full Gear. So we did not do the polls for World End, however, because there was not enough time to do them.
There weren't no time. Yeah.
We didn't know the matches until 10, 11, well, 10, what was it? No, 11:30 last night. We didn't know the final match, the final matches for World's End. By the way, did we miss any matches for World's End? I mean, as far as did they add any more matches to 0 Hour other than the Sisters of Sin?
I think they added one with the bum.
Oh crap! Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh well.
Hey, it's a nice bathroom break before the main card for me.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. But anyway, I digress. We will be back on Tuesday night at 8:45 Eastern Time for our regular Ignition show. This show tonight was just thrown together in the last second. We just wanted to talk about World's End, and that was that. So I appreciate Sutton and MK and Chris coming out tonight. And we will see you Tuesday night at 8:45 Eastern for a regularly scheduled Ignition podcast where we will be talking about the hot topics in AEW. So for the AEW Fan Hub podcast team, this is Kelson. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Sayonara.